Hey, everybody, it's Jason.
And I'm Bryce.
Welcome to In the Bay. We've got Cassandra and Alan Thibeault with us today as well. We're going to get to them in just a minute, but today's a very special episode of In the Bay in support and recognition of May being Mental Health Awareness Month. I wanted to bring in Alan and Cassandra because of her comfort level sharing it, and I want to get some insight from Alan about what it's like having a loved one that deals with mental health challenges. And again, just in hopes that somebody watches this and realizes that it's okay, and that you're not alone, that there's support mechanisms in place. And again, I want to help technicians, I want to help the industry. And again, I want to continue to share the stories that Cassandra and Alan have to let others know that it's okay. So but before we get into that, I want to get a little bit of background on Cassandra and Alan as well. You may have seen them. They both have a pretty strong social media following and presence, which is originally how I discovered both of them. Just kind of following them on their channels for a while, and then when I was ready to launch back there, I thought, well, you know what, they'd be perfect kind of in my core demographic area, just like you are. The younger technician, not an old dude like me, working on cars, but. So anyways, why don't you both give us a little background about yourself, kind of what you got into the industry, and then we'll kind of dive into the mental health side of things.
Oh yeah. So my name's Al Thibeault. I've been in the industry 20 plus years. I started when I was 19 years old, about right after high school. They were kind of pushing me. Oh, I had to go to college, but I wasn't like that kind of college type person. So I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I kind of skipped around, did some construction, did some like weird odd jobs, stuff here and there. And then I realized, I kind of like cars, and I'm kind of always smashing my cars up. I learned how to, why do I learn how to fix my mess ups? So I went to Lincoln Tech, then I got out, and then I started, just kind of sweeping the floors, prepping, just doing like odd stuff around the shop. And then I had a really good mentor at the shop I worked at. He kind of took me under his wing for 6 years and kind of showed me the ropes, really like expanded my education of just everything in the trade. Just kind of kept me positive. Because when I first started, it was hard. I didn't think I could do it. Just everything was like, oh, maybe I'm in the wrong trade. But he just kind of kept me positive and kind of pushed me a little bit to like, no, it's okay. It's okay to, struggle at work. It's going to happen. It's learning new things. It's not going to come easy to you like it does on the TV shows at the time. And so like, I was like, okay, cool. Like, so it was cool. So like, I was able to like kind of slow down a little bit to pick up and, but yeah. And then, so I started, at one shop for 3 years with him doing small stuff. And then he started another shop and he kind of took me with him, doing more body work. And then from there, I kind of started realizing he was a painter, but I realized I really liked the framework a lot. So then I kind of ventured out and found a shop that I could do framework at, and I've been doing that for most of the time now, and yeah, I love it. But like one of my goals right now is just staying more positive, keeping the positivity in the industry. And when you see that someone's struggling, like help them out. Like don't be that guy in the corner like, oh, why are you out here? Just stay positive. We're all in it together. Let's help each other. And so that's kind of where I stand right now. Where it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
awesome. But yeah, that's me.
Good job. Hi, my name's Cassandra Thibeault, your friendly neighborhood body tech. So with me, I started out in retail management, did solar construction, was a bill collector. I did a bunch of different things in my 20s, and either I got bored or just wasn't for me. So I just kept it pushing. And 2017, I went to Lincoln Tech, which I had a great experience. And I really wanted to get into a career where I was always learning and I could continue learning into the future. And so I found that in cars because I knew nothing when I started, not how to change my oil, change a tire, anything. So I was kind of starting from ground zero. So in that case, tech school was helpful to me because I had support and I didn't feel stupid as I was learning these things. But yeah, I have almost 10 years in the industry. I was doing prepping, priming, detailing parts, And I was kind of going in circles doing those positions because I wasn't ready to be a technician. I had a lot of mental health issues and trauma in my life that really prevented my growth and prevented people from taking me seriously, which I completely understand.
Yeah.
So when I was ready at Vernon Collision Center, Alan saw that. He saw me trying to collect tools, and I had a toolbox, even though I was just a prepper there. And he was like, okay, let's get her into the body shop. And so when there was a position open, I told my boss, hey, I would like to take this position. And Alan vouched for me too. He said, this is a smart lady. Let's give it a try. And I wouldn't be where I'm at without those two people. So Bob, my boss, Vernon Collision Center, and Alan, my husband. And yeah, he taught me a lot of skills. He's the reason I'm able to work at another body shop and be independent on my own now, which, yeah, time flies. But that's pretty much my story.
That's awesome. Alan, good job. Nice. Quite the pickup line there. That's a new approach, eh? Like helping with the tools. That's pretty smooth. So before we get into you, Cassandra, Alan, you said something that really struck something for me when you mentioned the positivity part of it, right?
Yep.
You know, that's huge. You know, I think that having somebody that can maintain that positivity. And it's frustrating, right, Bryce? I know I've been around Bryce a few times in the shop, and I've seen him get a little bit frustrated.
No.
A Tesla key missing not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were only $40. It wasn't a $400 like Corvette key or something. Thank God. But
that's good.
And I think we could use a lot more positivity in the shop.
Yeah.
You know? And honestly, like that's another reason why I've got back pain. I'm doing what I want to do because I've seen the negativity in social media around the industry. I see the negativity every time somebody asks a question about something, right? Like how people get belittled by wanting to know the way to do things, you know, and at the same time, you know, there's in the shops that my experience in the shops, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong, but what I've seen is I say this jokingly, but like at the same time, there's some seriousness behind it. Like I've never met the world's second best painter, right? Like everybody is like the best, right? And everybody else is a half. Now again, big broad generalization. What's that?
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But again, that thing that goes to the negativity, right? Because like I'm so much better than all my peers are, and again, at the end of the day, that doesn't really help anybody. We're not getting better by acting like that. We're not getting cars out the door more effectively, more efficiently because of that. Like it's that negative approach to everything is it's disheartening, and it makes you not want to go to work, you know. But if you've got somebody that's got that positivity and that can be that positive influence, and even if they're not the best technician in the world, if they come to work with a great attitude and a willingness to help, like I would take 10 of them over, you know, the most skilled, you know, arrogant technician any day of the week, I think personally. But
yeah.
So thank you for mentioning that. If you got anything you want to add to that at all, anybody?
No, yeah, it just makes just being that negative person in the shop just makes it so toxic, and then it feeds off. Like, so then everyone's afraid to ask questions at that point. And you know, we're all learning. Like I've been in the trade 20 plus years and I'm still learning every day. And I'm picking these guys' brains apart that I work with. And like we each have a different approach to do stuff. And you know, sometimes they're like our approaches together, like combined, we just make this like great formula of like, okay, let's do it this way. This is going to be a perfect fix. So it's, you know, it's nice to brainstorm off other people and, you know, learn. Like we're always learning. Cars are always growing and learning, you know.
Yeah, I mean, cars are changing every day. I work with tech who was at Ford for 10 years, a Ford dealership. So, and I worked at a GM dealer for the last 3 years. So not too many Fords I worked on. So when I got a lot of questions, I'm like, hey, how the hell does this thing come apart? You know?
Exactly.
So it's always nice to have, and he's a more experienced tech too. He's been doing it for 15 years. So it's always nice to have people in the shop that are, you know, they have knowledge and they're not afraid to share it. I feel a lot of people are, like you said, afraid to ask questions because they're just going to get belittled. Yeah. And I can understand that. It's a lot of how the industry is, because it's a lot of old heads in the industry. They're like, oh yeah, well, you should know how to do this right out of tech school, yada, yada, yada. It's like,
exactly.
no, I don't.
The
Yeah.
cars that I grew up repairing are not the cars that you grew up repairing. There's a vast difference between my mild steel 1980 Ford Fairmont that I drove back in high school compared to
Yeah.
what we're dealing with today.
Back
So,
then, you could cut them in half and weld them together, and that was good enough.
we've done it.
Was it right?
I full body sectioned a car with my dad in the late 80s. We drove around that car. It was our family car for a number of years, or I mean, not a number of years, but for a while anyways. But anyways, enough about that. But let's get back to, sorry, I already got to talk about
sidetrack.
that happens, a little rabbit action, right? So let's get back, Cassandra, let's get back to you. So bipolar disorder, is that the correct terminology for it? Again, cool. So can you first kind of tell us what it is? Because I think a lot of us have this preconceived notion of what it is, but the reality of it is none of us really know what it is or can appreciate it. Can you tell us what it means from your perspectives and kind of put it in some terms that maybe can help us kind of better understand exactly, when I hear you say that, like, what does that really mean?
Yeah. So it is a complex disorder in the sense that it's very different for everyone that has it. And it's treated differently for everyone that has it. So that's, I think, what makes it complicated. So I can only speak for me, but overall, it's extreme highs and lows and also mixed emotions. So I could be really happy, but then also irritated. So like conflicting emotions that kind of make everyday life more challenging and just uncomfortable, because you want to enjoy life and be happy, but you also have these stubborn other factors like irritability. Also too, like a few symptoms that affect me is like spending, like, so I'll buy, like, I think I need 200 enamel pill pins. And that's where Alan comes in and says, so what's up with these pins? And I go, they're only $1, but he goes, you got a lot of them, like, so he comes in and helps me realize, Molly, chill out. But so I would say that sometimes lack of appetite or increased appetite. So a lot of things like coincide with anxiety and depression. So I would say when I'm happy or manic, I make the best of it. So like it helps me when I'm doing like outreach and going to talk to people and being more outgoing on my social media. But it's challenging when I feel depressed. So I kind of like push myself a little bit, but my biggest thing when I'm depressed is I think everyone hates me. So that's like my main, I guess, delusion. So I've learned over time, my friends and family, I ask them and I go, do you hate me today? And they go, no. I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied with that.
Okay.
But it's harder with like employers and strangers. So I look for like little things, like they bought me a soda today. So obviously they don't hate me.
Okay.
It's my main depressed feeling. But after having so much experience with it, I don't want to say I'm used to it, but I kind of can understand that's me and that's not me.
So is this something like do you like something that you like feel coming on? Do you like know, like, yeah, I'm about to have an episode? Like how do you know when it's happening? If again, maybe I'm asking the wrong words. I'm not 100% sure, but like I want to have a better understanding so that I know how to deal with it better.
How I recognize usually is Alan tells me.
Okay.
There's a lot that I can recognize because my main goal was always just not to hurt people. So I would have struggles in my relationships. I would have people giving me negative feedback about myself to the point where I was like, okay, I guess I'm just a bad person. This is how I am. And then eventually I was like, I don't accept that, because the way I feel inside is I love people and I don't want to hurt people. So that's kind of when I realized, it's not a moral deficiency that I have. Like, this is a legitimate disorder that I need to take seriously and not just go like, this is who I am. So yeah, I can feel it coming on because I get overwhelmed. I increase like my scrolling. Like I just get a little neurotic. I don't know how to explain it. I just not like myself. Myself is eccentric and cool and a little anxious. So like when it's out of whack, you can kind of tell. Alan can tell.
Yeah,
So
I got like so I didn't really
Just
know.
tell the truth.
Yeah, I didn't know much about bipolar when we first started dating. So like I knew a little bit. Like I have an aunt that's bipolar, so like it kind of helped a little bit, but my family never talked about it. They kind of hushed it under the carpet, kind of like I feel like it was like an old way of like no one talked about it. And then with Cass, like I started getting books, so I read a ton of books, a lot of online research on it. So I was like, okay, I got to know about this because it's not evil. It's not evil. It's just understanding it more. And yeah, like for Cass, like she got like red flags of like increased spending. Like all of a sudden I'll come home from work and they'll not know why there'd be like 30 Amazon boxes outside, or just like little things, or the sleeping goes down. Like she's like, oh, I haven't slept today, so it's like starting to become like, okay, we got to figure out like the sleeping patterns. But yeah, it's more like just the spending and stuff. Those are my like red flags.
Okay.
Spending and sleep seems like.
Yeah.
What about like your energy, Cassandra? Because you're a pretty high energy person usually. I've always seen you dancing around and jumping around on the videos, right? And even when I saw you at Win, like you're grabbing people, let's get a photo taken. Like it was just your energy is always so high. Like is it impacted when you're in the midst of an episode?
I would say yes. Like
Oh, it does.
I think so this is like an extreme example.
Okay.
It makes me laugh because as I've had different episodes, they become less destructive, I would say. Because when I started realizing that I'm a good person, I was like, oh, I'm just a character, this and that. So the one that sticks out is we went to O'Reilly's. I screamed, I'm Irish, so I can be in here.
But that was right after a hospital visit.
And the guy behind us, he had like some jewelry on, but he happened to have 2 chains on. And I was like, what's up, 2 chains? I would say like it can be a little funny. Like, I don't cause harm these days, which I'm super grateful for. When I was first having episodes, I was definitely having a lot more anger. Like there was a lot of stuff in my life I just didn't talk about and deal with, kind of like what we say. But with having the bipolar disorder, it made it so out of control. But I'm so grateful that over time it just lessened, and now I can be like, this is normal for me, and that's not normal for me. So I would say I don't even remember the question, but
I do think like just like even Cass like understanding more of herself now, it's helping her because like together we work together doing it. So like she understands herself more, and I'm understanding her. Like I see like the flags of like what to look for, and like the time she's talking about, she was in the hospital for a month because she had a very bad manic episode where she didn't sleep for 5 days, and then her energy level usually like, so she's usually pretty energetic and her energy levels are pretty high, but during this time her energy levels are like crazy high, like unspoken high, where she wasn't sleeping, but like she had to talk to everyone.
That's not like me.
Life stories to everyone. It was pretty.
Yeah.
So then that's when I was like, oh, maybe we'll take a trip to the hospital and see what's going on.
Yeah. I definitely have a social battery. So like kind of the person you're describing, it's like, it took me a while to get to that point. So like I still have to charge up. Like when I went to Win, I was like, oh, this is great. Like I love the networking and talking to people, but in my room, I was like charging,
Okay.
So I feel like I have a purpose with inspiring women in the industry, and I have a strong faith, which really helps, but it's definitely not my natural state. I'm pretty introverted actually, but if you get me going about collision repair or fashion, then it's a wrap. Anything else, I'm like, but those 2 things will get my wheels turning.
Okay. So let's kind of go back even further now. So like, when did you first realize that like something was going on? Like, did you realize it? Did friends or family realize? Like, let's go to when you first started heading towards this diagnosis, if you will. Like, what was that kind of part of the journey like for you?
So what comes to mind is I got clean from drugs and alcohol at 18. So yeah, like it was very severe. I had pancreatitis. Like, it was not casual what I was doing at such a young age. So I think that's where it started, where when I got clean, it was kind of suggested to me that I should see what the root cause of that is. Why was I
Like
using
self-medicated.
drugs and alcohol? And the reality was, when I had the manic highs, I was trying to bring it down. And then when I was having the lows, I was trying to bring it up.
Okay.
So that's kind of, for me, that's where my addiction was. And I struggled with it on and off for many years. I have 5 years clean now. And, my most recent battle was with weed. And I know that sounds crazy and outrageous because it's supposed to be harmless and help people. But, I was on the weed pen and I was like just rolling around with my best life. But it was actually increasing my paranoia, increasing just the instability in my moods. It was causing problem with my employment, so this harmful thing, actually, for lack of a better term, I overdosed on THC and I was in the hospital for that. And they told me I'd never be able to smoke again safely, which I was like, that's bizarre, and people agreed around me, that's bizarre, you can smoke again. So I kept making the same mistakes. But that's addiction, So I like to be open about that struggle too, because it goes hand in hand. I think they call it dual diagnosis. But it's very, very common for people with bipolar to have substance issues.
Okay. What was that kind of the next step in your mental health journey?
Just starting therapy and tracking my moods and, yeah, I mean, that was really the main thing. Was I was in recovery meetings every day for like 5 years straight. So there was people, that were able to give me feedback as well. Even if they didn't realize I was dealing with bipolar symptoms, they were still able to say, what's wrong today? Or it seems like you're really happy. So I would kind of take that feedback and I would always have my journal and, with my therapist, we'd go over all the symptoms. And that's when she was like, okay, like you have bipolar disorder. That's very obvious, but it can take many, many years to get an official diagnosis. So every therapist I would see, which I think I've had maybe 5 or 6 throughout my life, would say, you obviously have bipolar disorder. And I would be treated with medication and therapy, but only recently I was officially diagnosed because it takes 3 hospitalizations for you to have an official diagnosis, which is pretty wild, but
It's wild. Yeah.
But I would like to say I've achieved more of like a flow in my life.
Okay.
So I kind of just focus on positive things like my repairs for the next day or what our next plans are. Like after this podcast, we're going to go in the woods with the Jeep. So I really focus on the circumstances in my life and things I can control that make me happy. There's people, places, and things that I know make my disorder much worse.
Okay.
Sometimes they're not avoidable, like crowds or certain places maybe I've outgrown that I might still have to go to, but that's where Alan comes in and says like, you're good.
So Alan, let's talk about how this journey's been for you, right? So I mean, Cassandra, it's awesome. I really appreciate that she's got you to lean on and for you to kind of give her some checks and say like, hey, what's going on? Like, let's talk to me a little bit about your daily life and when you like, what are you looking for? What's your journey like kind of been? I know it's a whole bunch of stuff all wrapped into one, but like, just kind of give us the down low on that.
So in the beginning, it was definitely hard in the beginning, but when we first started dating, I was in a bad spot myself, but with drinking. So Cass is the one that like got me. So I'm clean from alcohol. Like I don't drink anymore. So I'm 3 years clean from alcohol, which has been like Cass got me that. So that's been the best thing. But yeah, so in the beginning it was kind of hard. So like I did I was talking to like family members about it. I had an uncle that was really supportive because he dealt with it, with my aunt. And then he was the one that recommended, just research it and stuff. So I started researching, online, like on my own time, getting books. So I got tons of books, read tons of books about it. And it's not too, like at first, like everyone's like, oh, bipolar. Oh, that's like, they're hot and cold every second of the day. And it's scary to be around, but it's definitely not what it is. It's not hot and cold every second or, it's like one day you might be happy, the next day you might be sad, or your energy's here this day or energy's here that day. So that's like really what I found out bipolar it kind of is. Yeah, so reading the books and stuff been helping. That was a huge help. But yeah, so like right now, like what I look for, like right now it's super easy. Like we found we did have to have a hospital visit when we kind of like first year and a half of dating. where she was in the hospital for a month, which was like an eye opener for me of like, okay, we got to like really, because I mean, she was at extreme high at that point. So like the doctors were trying to, give her tons of meds to make her sleep, but nothing was working. So then I started researching it with her doctor and stuff, and come to like really just come to find out it was just just being a support figure was what's going to help her. So so yeah, we got out of the hospital, and we realized, okay, we need to find a good doctor. So we were recommended by a really good doctor that helped us. In the first year it was hard. It's finding the right medications. So like for a year and a half, we were playing with medications until we finally found the meds that we're on now that have been a game changer for it. But yeah, it's been awesome. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, there's ups and downs, highs and lows like in the relationship, but like it's not like that. It's not bad. It's all positive stuff. Was like just like we help each other. So like I help her, she helps me, and there's stuff that that I like look for to like help calm down. Like, okay, like if the spending increases, okay, now I know like we gotta
take my debit card away.
we gotta like do stuff.
We gotta unlink my Amazon.
Yeah. Or like when she's depressed, just making her feel supported. So like it's just really having a good support system in work, in family, in friends. Like that's the key I found out. And it kind of goes for everyone. We all need support, to help us push. Yeah, I guess I got off the question.
No, you're not. You're right on the question.
Oh, it's been a good ramble. I like
No,
it.
Yeah, I'll start going. I'm like, oh.
No, I tell you, the one thing that I love the most about that whole answer right too was you kept saying we did this. We're on the right meds now. Like it's you. Yeah, there's no doubt that this is a team Thibeault conversation. Which brings little tears to my eyes. I love that you're there supporting her, and I love that she's there supporting you. And I just think it's awesome.
Yeah,
I think
it's great.
It's awesome. So
yeah, we definitely. I wouldn't be where I was where I am now without her, and vice versa. We're best friends. Like we do everything together, and this is our first time not working together recently, but it's kind of fun in a way where it's we tell cool stories now. Like, oh, this happened, or throughout the day we take pictures and send it. Like, oh, look at my.
He sends me the repairs.
Look at my train wreck. I gotta fix her. And I'm like, so it's kind of fun in that way.
I'm like, this is my new shop. What do you think? This is my new area.
That's awesome. No, that's super cool. And it's I'm glad the two of you found each other. I think it's just it's an awesome support team you've built, and I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely like that whole like support system, like even in like the shop aspect, like all of us techs should just be like, if you're working in the shop, we should all just be together and like help each other. Like it kind of grows to that where it's like there's no reason why this guy like can't help me do that, and vice versa. And we're here at the bottom line is we're here to fix cars, and we're here to fix cars nice and have fun at the same time. And
that's an interesting point too. So you've used kind of what you've learned, working or living with Cassandra, and like you're employing some of those techniques in the shop too to kind of build and support that. I think that's another awesome piece. And I would imagine Cassandra does the same thing too, right? Taking what you've learned and kind of sharing that as well.
I go, is today the best day of your life? And usually people say no, and I say, there's still time.
Right now on this, I'd like to get the names of some of those books. We'll include in the show notes on this too. So if there's some links or some literature, some books that you found particularly helpful, Alan, please, we can talk offline. You can email me those, and I'll make sure to include those in the show notes. And then we'll also put those in Back Bay as well. So as we do have people coming and continue to grow Back Bay, again, I reckon Back Bay is not designed to be the mental health resource, but if we can connect people with the right resources by their involvement in Back Bay, that's what I'm looking for. So the more tools we can put in people's hands to help them, through similar situations or with whatever challenges, the better, I think. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You got any questions? You got anything, Bryce? It's been kind of.
No, I've actually, I definitely learned a lot.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Me too.
Cassandra, thank you for sharing. It really, I'd say, opened up my eyes to how obviously it's just your case. There's obviously, like you said, everybody deals with bipolar completely different, but I don't want to say case because it kind of sounds bad, but it's the only terminology I can think
No,
of.
that's cool.
But just it's a real eye opener for kind of getting an understanding of it, and a lot of like what Alan was saying with like the social cues too, like dealing with the crowded people and stuff. It's always nice to know that because then you can kind of apply that, I guess, with other people, like even if they're not bipolar, but you can still help them address their issues that they're having. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, we're all going through something, and even if
Yeah.
it's mental disorder, like it could just be home life, a bad home life, or when they come to
Mhm.
work and it's just to everyone just support each other. Just it definitely goes a long way. Like the new shop I'm at, like everyone supports each other, where it's awesome. Like a guy might have had a bad night because of relationship issues, and but we all kind of talk to him and coach him. It's not the end of the world. Like it's okay. It's kind of cool. Like it's definitely helped me broaden my helping people. Trying to think of the words, but yeah, it definitely made us all of us come together. I feel like.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add?
I would say just if you're struggling with, any mental disorder or mental distress, I would say the biggest thing is just tell one person. That's what helps me the most is,
Yeah.
Not right away. Maybe you're not comfortable telling your employer right away. That's a big step to take. But just telling one person that you trust, it's going to take a big burden off of you.
I really appreciate both your input and your level of comfortableness talking about this. And again, I owe you, Cassandra, a ton of gratitude because again, you gave me the inspiration, the strength to be able to talk about something that I wasn't comfortable talking about, and that meant a lot to me. So I appreciate that very much. So. But I'm really glad that the three of us and now the four of us have built this relationship, and I enjoy spending time and talking with you. And I'm really excited, looking forward to seeing both of them in Atlanta for Skills USA.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. Bryce, a former competitor, so
Awesome.
I get to watch him compete down there a couple times, and pretty cool. So. Just like I did back a long time ago, Bryce did the same thing, and now you're going to be there, and you're going to be blown away. You are in for a treat like you never had before. So you may never recover, Cassandra, from what you're about to see here in just a couple of weeks. So it's pretty amazing. So looking forward to having both there, and and since Cassandra's got her nice T-shirt on there. Eat, sleep, OEM procedures, repeat. That's important stuff. That's what's about for me. So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention collisionpro.com/merch to get your own Eat, Sleep, OEM procedures, repeat T-shirt. So we got to make sure that we work that in. And then the other thing, so for those of you that do follow Cassandra and her other channel, Body Women, which I'm involved in as well, in Back Bay, we have a special Body Women only section. So only for the ladies that come in through Body Women, and to get in there, if you use you can use the code Body Women when you check out from collisionproassist.com /backbay, and we'll get you 20% off your first 6 months, and we'll get you access to that private women's only channel, well, Women plus Jason channel that's in Back Bay called Body Women. And again, Cassandra was instrumental in making that happen. So we don't have many Body Women in there yet, Cassandra, but we're going to have a bunch of Body Women in there at some point.
Definitely.
Yes. Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to. And I almost wore my shirt today. You got your Collision Pro Assist one. I just put my Body Women shirt on, but I went with Back Bay today. So, and Bryce, on the other hand.
Hey, it was in the wash, okay? I'm in the midst of unpacking all my stuff, and I just threw everything that I thought was dirty in the washer. So, and it just so happens that was in the washer. So
we'll give them a pass today. So cool. All right. Well, with that, again, as we like to always close out, if you are struggling with mental health, thoughts of suicide, depression, please pick up the phone, dial 988, text 988, or visit 988 online if you need to talk to somebody about your mental health, because you do matter, you are important, and we need you here to keep fixing cars and living your best life. So with that, we will see you next time in the Bay.